Good afternoon, everyone. Super Bowl Sunday today. As you can see, I'm representing. My team didn't make it, but I still plan on watching the game and enjoying myself. Today is an anniversary of mine of sorts. It was this day 5 years ago that I was released from prison after 28 years of incarceration. I went to court, video court by the way, because it was COVID-19. And I went to court on February 2nd, and February 8th, I was walking out of Central Yard at Soledad. I still remember what that felt like. I received a lot of well wishes on my way out. When you walk through the North Gate, there are housing units on both sides, so people can actually see you leaving. And, just hearing people cheering you on, stay up out there, all right, man, it was amazing. I remember I was a guy looking out the gate, cheering people on as they left. The last person I seen leave was my partner L from Oakland. And I remember, stay up L, and just seeing them leave, it was like, man, I couldn't wait for my turn. So when my turn came, it was nothing like it. The same judge who sentenced me was still on the bench, and he overturned my sentence. And it was an amazing moment for me. Coming home after so many years, I hit the ground running. It wasn't hard for me to adjust. Within 2 months, maybe, I had over 700 credit score. Within 6 months, I had my own place. And, I was out there doing it. I had a lot of support. My big sister, I went to stay with her, and she was really supportive. My baby bro showed up for me. He did a lot for me. My Aunt Noreen came to see me. My cousins, my cousin Floss, shout out to Floss. He broke bread with me in a real way. And just to everybody who supported me coming home, showed up for me, took me shopping, took me to get something to eat, bought me clothes. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You helped me to get where I am today. But my biggest adjustment, one thing I had to adjust to, I'm going to tell you about a prison yard first. It's one of the most dangerous, volatile, unpredictable, dysfunctional, chaotic environments on the entire planet. You'll be hard pressed to find another environment, not situations or circumstances. I know people struggle every day, they go through things, but the environment itself, it breeds chaos and negativity. And I had to endure it for 28 years, and I did it. But one thing about a prison yard, it's one of the most respectful environments you'll ever be a part of. And the reason being, because disrespect will get you killed. They will kill you for saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. And that's just how it is. I didn't make the rules. That's just the way it is. So respect is a given. And it's not to say disrespect doesn't happen, but if you disrespect someone, it could possibly be consequences. And, you have to be willing to deal with that. Whether it's getting hurt real bad or losing your life. But it's serious. It's all business in there. There's no fun and games. They playing for keeps. So you can imagine how it was for me when I came home and I was disrespected my first 6 months, more than my 28 years in prison. I wasn't disrespected not one time in prison. And it's not just because of the man I am. It's just, that's not a practice in there, If someone does something or says something you don't like, it's a conversation. Hey, my man, I don't get out like that. All right, bro, my bad. No, it's all good. I'm just letting you know. Boom. It's over with. But out here, I was yelled at, cursed at, hung up on more times than I can count. And it was a struggle for me. But I soon realized that, I had to adjust, to the world, because I couldn't expect the world to adjust to me. I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to people yelling at me and talking crazy to me. And, I had to really figure it out, and I did real quick because I wasn't gonna, be walking around bound up in knots, tripping. And I really understand they just don't know. My set of circumstances, situation was just different, and it was a different set of rules. But nevertheless, I did adjust, and I just realized over 28 years the world had gotten mean, and we use the word boundaries a lot. But boundaries, that's really a new thing, because in my 28 years of freedom, we never used boundaries as it pertains to people. It was a given that people just didn't cross certain lines. People knew their place, and we didn't use that word. Now, on the yard, boundaries are everywhere. You have physical boundaries. Don't cross that line. It's out of bounds. There's a consequence if you do. And you have personal boundaries. You walk past somebody, you're going to say, excuse me, just by walking past them. You're announcing yourself. I'm entering to your personal space. So, here I am. But, to talk about setting boundaries, which we have to do, but it was never really, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a conversation the way it is today. But here we are. But what I will say is this, we can choose to lead with respect whenever we can. And I don't believe someone has to earn it. I'm going to give it to you because I want it. I don't want to have to earn nobody's respect. I'm going to respect you, and I want you to respect me. But you can lose my respect, but out the gate, I'm going to give it to you. But like I said, I adjusted, and I'm thankful. This is a fun day for me. I'm free. I'm about to go watch this game, and, I'm going to enjoy the day. I hope everyone has a safe day, and keep it clean, and just have fun and enjoy yourself. And in the meantime, I'm in a constant state of gratitude. I'm really, really thankful and blessed. I never gave up on myself, and I never lost faith. So enjoy the day. Keep it solid.